to get going with the last speaker today. So we're fortunate. Okay, I'm gonna butcher your last name, but you gave me a clicker. This is Adrien. I have full permission to butcher his last name, Feudjio. Adrien is a passionate speaker and an avid entrepreneur. I was fortunate to study the design thinking methodology at the Cisco at Stanford. He has taught that mindset at several workshops at his own college, and has recently got accepted into Y Combinator, which many of you know is extremely difficult to get into, so congratulations. He's here to share with us some of his experiences, sharing some of the trials and tribulations, and and so he's also working on an unpublished book called The Startup Journey is Like a Ride. So please welcome Adrien.
One morning, like every other morning, I got my bag into my car and I was riding out of the garage. But there's something that was special. Is that the day before, I was just coming back from Maryland. And in Maryland, we drive about 50 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour, and I left my house driving at 50 miles per hour. And then something occurred. I looked at my rearview mirror, and I saw what every single one of us never wants to see. Yes, the lights of the siren. And I did what every person in here did. We hope it is not us. So I continued driving, but I remarked how he insisted, and I said, oh no, I guess it's me. And as I parked, he parked, and I said, oh no. But then, he asked me the question, hey sir, do you know the speed limit? I said, yes, of course. What do you think it is? I said, 40 miles per hour. He said, sir, incorrect. I said, okay, do you mean like 35? Incorrect. You mean like, what do you mean? I was riding at 50 miles per hour in a 25 miles per hour road. Many of you in here, after this training you are going to be doing, you have a 50 miles per hour mindset right now. Going into a company, organization, a team where people ride at 25 miles per hour, what do you think you're going to see? Resistance. What do you think you're going to meet? Officers, the product manager, the analysts, the managers themselves. We have never done things this way. Hey, come on, chill down a little bit, okay? Follow our pace. That's what you're going to hear. But please, this doesn't seem to work. Now it does. There you go. Thank you. My name is Mr. Adrien Feujdio again, and I'm going to be talking to you things that I learned that were beyond design thinking. Elements that I had not learned before. I would say it's certainly my fault, because I thought design thinking was all about this process: empathy, ideation, definition, prototyping, implementation, and testing, and I knew it all. Who else would teach me something else? I learned it at the D school. That is where design thinking was founded. But I discovered after 3 years of testing, there were 3 more dimensions to design thinking. And you're going to learn them today. That will save you 3 years of hard work. And of course, the $250 that I paid is not going to help you out. I wish someone could help me start up a GoFundMe. But this is what I learned. Our world is in 3 dimensions. For time, we have the past, the present, and the future. Do we agree?
Yes.
Just the back, come on. Space, X, Y, Z planes. We all agree, don't you?
Yes.
Perfect. What do you think this is?
The unknown.
Any guess? They are what?
Unknown.
The unknown. Okay.
Perspective.
Perspective.
Black
This
hole.
is simply PowerPoint. PowerPoint also has 3 dimensions. I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but they have a feature called 3 dimensions. I see a lot of people are thinking beyond the realms. So, let's get started. Can any one of you here guess what the 3 dimensions of design thinking are? They all start with the P. Try again. Anyone else? I heard something? Perspective? Anyone else?
Problem.
Planning.
You gotta start with a problem.
Problem? Again? Pain. People, woo! Can we give her a hand of applause? Anyone else wants to try? There are 2 more left. Rose. Process, yes, thank you. And the last one? That's what you've been trying to figure out. You're close. Prototype. What is the prototype? Finally, like the
Product.
The product. Thank you. Thank you. The product. So, back in 2016, when I was in my university, I decided to start a mobile application. Why? Because I just came from the D school, so I knew how to solve problems. My university was disconnected. I had interned at Cisco, and I was in 2015, so I knew how to connect the unconnected. You never heard about it? Okay, I look, you guys work at Cisco. So we connect the unconnected, so I said to myself, okay, how can I connect students to opportunities? So I started Morgan Connect, an amazing app. And there was a competitor who started, what's the move? I said, wait a minute, who is this? There's something strange that really occurred is that this person to your left didn't have this website before. So I started discussing with my friend and I told him about my interest. That friend is called Larry. Larry started What's the Move, and his whole application was about giving more than just students, the whole Baltimore experience. So I said, okay, that's cool, sounds interesting. But then he came to me and said, Adrian, I need some advice, I need some help. It seems like I like the way you think. And I gave him some advice, some help. A couple of years later, he stopped. But then I said, let me try and check his progress. This is the result I got. Can you tell me if you see any difference between my website and his website? Exactly the same thing. I said, wow. He didn't even play around. He copied it completely. No, but the reality is, your product is like a car. Whenever you go to the dealership to buy a car, who do you think is the standard for your car? Is the car you saw which looked fancy. You can't just design a car from your mind. We need to see it first before designing it. And some people will copy it. And that's what they did. And let me give you a little backstory about a Ferrari. A Ferrari is an amazing car, as everyone knows. But there was an Italian. He used to drive a Ferrari as well. But he didn't like the engine. But the good thing about it is that he was having a lot of tractors in his company. He looked at the car, looked at the tractors, looked at the engine, looked at Ferrari. He said, I don't like this engine, but I like the car. I don't like this car, but I like the engine. Took the engine, took the car, combined, and came up with the Lamborghini. That was the result. He didn't just copy. He did more than that. And I'll go into it. And this is another one. I don't know if you've heard about this. Have you guys heard about Amazon Chime? If you haven't, they just launched about, it was last year. But this particular UI you see over here was launched this year. And it somehow coincides with WebEx Teams. So I asked myself, wow, is it that we have some people at Cisco who are leaking information out there? Or it's just that Amazon has noticed what works, copy, and implement it? somewhere. I may be talking to the wrong generation. But I do believe that at least you have kids. All right. Snapchat was so well known for its stories. And that's what works. Sometimes you don't have to redesign the wheel. Sometimes you just have to be humble enough and copy. And say some people steal. That's what they did. And imagine, look at this graph. Snapchat is at 199 million daily. Look at WhatsApp. So if you combine WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, it completely surpasses the records of Snapchat. The reason why I'm bringing this to you is to realize that sometimes the product you are developing in your workplace doesn't have to be something new. Sometimes you just have to look left and right. Look at what they have done that works. Look at what they are doing that doesn't work. Combine it together just like the tractor and the Ferrari and come up with something new. And that is what I call let the consumer's consumption drive the producer's product. What do people use more often? Don't go around doing some market research and trying to understand. This could be an easier way. They have already done the market research. Years and years of market research has been done. Why don't you just utilize the results on your product? But more than that, why don't you just copy innovate? And what is the art of copy innovation? Noticing where everyone does and it works best, and the best practices ever. If it takes having an engine in a particular way, okay, good. If it takes having a car that has a particular shape, good. All of that, combine it together. We have done design thinking. You have been trained as design thinkers. Add on it. Don't start from scratch. Why start the race at the beginning when people are already at the end of the race? Start at the end when they are starting a new lap. Copy innovation. I'll just let this sink in. Because I believe most of us have seen it somewhere. This is just a fun fact for you who are listening. I wasn't aware that Pablo Picasso had an outstanding name. And I will try and read the name. Pablo Diego Jose Francisco de Paola Juan Nepomuceno María de los Remedios Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad Ruiz y Picasso. What an interesting name. And then what did he do? He broke down the name into two. Thank you very much. You saw it coming. People have two names or three. Copy innovate. Just say, okay, I'm just going to keep the first name, all of these go away. And the last name. Do the same thing. Number two, the process. The process is quite interesting. Why? Because even after I had taught design thinking, I didn't just learn design thinking at the school. I went back to my school, thank you very much for mentioning this. I taught workshops on design thinking, but I still had a hard time figuring out how to implement design thinking. And many of you in here, you have learned design thinking. You are pumped up. You're like, whoop, I believe I can change the world. In fact, I can redesign the world. But in the real life, it's completely a little bit different. But there are certain things that you will notice in the process that makes all of this limited. And in my particular situation, I knew how to turn around the problem and figure out a solution, but I didn't know how to live from just that to the ability for me to use the lean startup method, and beyond that, how to be able to have a team that is agile. Have any of you here heard about agile? Agile, perfect. There's something about processes. Some processes are made to just explore the problem and figure out the solution. Some processes are made to build the right things. But more than just that, some processes are made to build it the right way. So when you're in your teams, I want to guarantee you, people do more of agile, or probably a little bit of lean, and not very much of design thinking. But by the time you come with your design thinking mindset, and the people will look at you and say, what do you mean? Empathizing? Like, really? It now takes for you to be able to show them this. That all of them are connected into one. Because we want to be able to develop one particular product in a particular way to make people producing it happy, excited, feel productive and fulfilled. Interesting, right? Have you seen this before? Anyone? Okay, just one person. You want to use design thinking only? All right. You get only design thinking results. That's what I did. For 3 years, I developed that Morgan Connect app with just the mentality of design thinking. And I was like, yay! I had about 600 users, but then they were not active users. Why? I had about 3 different teams with whom I worked. In 2015, my co-founder left me and said, wow, what is the problem here? In 2017, my 4 team members left me and I said, what is happening over here? And in 2018, I did something different that I will share with you in the last dimension. But do keep this in mind. Don't use half of the processes unless you are okay with half of the results. How many of you here are okay with half of the results? Let me check that out. All right, no one. But this is the people dimension. As I started in 2016, my co-founder was called Daniel. That was in fall. But in spring, he told me, Adrien, let me call you tomorrow. I was like, wait a minute, we have not even started talking about the product yet. Let me talk to you tomorrow. And then tomorrow became next week. And then next week became 2 weeks after. And that's when I realized that people have priorities. Wow! But beyond that, he had never heard about design thinking. I was the only one who knew about design thinking. I was the only one who knew the process and the products. You're going into your own teams where you're the only one. If you didn't come here as a, I mean, you came here as a team. Uh-oh. Aye. So you're going to be battling with other people's mindset. So just be aware of it. For 3 years, I did the same thing, unconsciously. But then I realized something 3 years later, after having lost all of those things. In 2018, I hired my partner. I had never hired someone in my life. I was a college student. I hired my college mates. I said, wait a minute. I interviewed them. They were not my friends. But I discovered the difference in when you sit there and interview someone is that you set expectations on your mindset. In 3 weeks, we were not only able, that was just recently, 3 weeks ago, but I started doing some research about this particular topic again. Because I will tell you that this particular speech I'm giving to you is, for me, a testimony. Because 3 weeks back from today, I didn't realize I wasn't using any of these dimensions. And that's the reason why my products had passive users and not active users. And that's the reason why my process was not followed. I had have results. And that was the reason why my team members were leaving. Because they didn't understand my mindset. So I taught them. I think that's something that you may want to do. Teach your peers design thinking. Teach them the benefits of design thinking. It's about thinking. People who think alike work and walk alike. They work together. And when I say think alike, I don't mean you just have to be the same way of thinking. No. You understand things at a particular level. You have a particular mindset, a broad mindset, but fixed. So teach them. Let me give you an example here at Cisco. What do you think all of these products have together?
Massively successful.
Massively successful. Anyone else?
Spin up.
Data center. Oh!
Spin it.
Spin it. Oh, who said that? Can we give me a round of applause, please? Massively successful spinning. I was like, what? I had to do some research to figure out like, why are they so successful. It was because of these three guys. Mario, Prem, and Luca. Ah, yeah. And it's something I do believe they had. And I call it the co-pilot theorem. In every single one of these spinnings, they were together. And I believe that a co-pilot theorem states this. A co-pilot can make your dream a reality, or a co-pilot can make that same dream a nightmare. The co-pilot is that one person with whom you partner during a flight. And when you face turbulences, that co-pilot says, let me take over. How many co-pilots do you have? Do you have any co-pilots in your team? By show of hands, do you have any co-pilots in your team? All right? Good. You need a co-pilot. Had I had a co-pilot when I was driving at 50 miles per hour, I can guarantee you I wouldn't have gotten a ticket. At least I won't even have been driving at that speed. So do think about it. I won't go deep into this, but please you can do some research about them. Mario, Prem, and Luca. And there was a lady in the team as well. Sonny. And as I'm moving forward, I want to share with you one story which occurred just this week. And I believe it's going to happen to you as well. And this was a result. I was in a Scrum meeting with a product owner, but then something was left out, the fact that our tech lead wasn't there. So our tech lead is in Dreamforce. I don't know if any of you know Dreamforce. So she's over there. But we have an assistant tech lead. We are talking and we're having a conversation, and we are asked, what particular user story do you want to work on? I'm so bubbly, excited. Design thinking is in my blood. So I know that I want to do something that I see is a huge problem. And I want to facilitate things because I can connect the dots. And I say that this particular issue, that I believe I can lay the ground foundation for it. The product owner says, no, you shouldn't work on this. The tech lead says, no, come on, I think he can work on it. He's just saying that he wants to lay the ground on it. The product owner says, no. And then I started thinking about design thinking. What is the first stage of design thinking? First stage. Empathy. That's the reason why I looked in my pocket, I pulled out the glass of empathy and I put it in my eyes and I looked at him. And then I realized, because he had made a statement, he said, unless we get the official tech lead stamp of approval, no one looks at this particular user story. I said, wow. But the tech lead, the assistant tech lead, said it's okay. No. Some people are influenced only by certain people that they trust. For those of you who raised your hand, if your co-pilot comes to you with an issue, how likely is it that you will help them? Just put up your hand. We help because of trust. And beyond that, one other thing I learned, just like any kid who wants to get a toy from their parents, if mommy says no, who do you go and see? If daddy says no, that is exactly what they do, and that is human behavior. And that's when I discovered this. The true power of co-influence is in a true stakeholder. And a true stakeholder usually is that person who can sway the final decision of the so-called main stakeholder. If you want to influence any change in your organization, if you want to influence any change in the people with whom you work with, just figure out who is that true stakeholder. Who is that person who they believe in, they trust? If that person is not with you, that person is against you. And whatsoever you put on the table, they will take it off the table and put it on the floor. Something I had to learn the hard way. I wish I knew this dimension. For you who may be asking yourself the question, how do I build trust in the workplace? Has any of you heard about the 5 languages of love? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Gary Chapman also came up with these languages. The 5 languages of appreciation in the workplace. I don't believe you should take a look at it. Why? Because to build trust, sometimes it takes a little gig. Sometimes to build trust, it takes you just coming beside someone and say, oh, I see how hard it is today. Just take it easy. You'll be fine. Sometimes to build trust is just the ability for you to spend time with them and say, hey, let me check on you. Sometimes to build trust is just saying a high five. Hey, can you give me a high five? And that's all they need. Sometimes to build trust is just a little appreciation that can go a long way into them helping you in your co-influence. Now, before I give you the final points, I'd like to take some questions. I do believe many said they were not very familiar with the 3 dimensions of design thinking. Now that you're a little bit familiar, what questions are arising within you? Don't be shy. What are here? Sorry?
Customer success experience, customer experience.
Customer and sales experience. And to this question, did you see this slide on Monday? Something similar to this? Did anyone catch this? On Monday, I think on Monday or yesterday, someone presented with a slide about customer experience. Does anyone remember?
Yeah.
It was CX. When you twist around and you do some copy innovation, what happens? When you don't want to recreate the slide again, just add the S, and there you go. Yes, please.
So question on the 3 dimensions, is it always necessary to have all 3 throughout the process, or can you focus more on one or the other and still be successful?
Let me go back to the quote. Do not use half of the process and expect the full results. So the reason why I'm saying this is because in anything that we do, there are people, there's a process, and there's a product. If you focus so much on the product, what happens to the people? They may not work with you. If you focus so much on the people, what happens to the product? It may not advance. If you focus so much on the people and the product, you may have the wrong process and get the wrong result. Sir?
So as you were sort of working on your startup and you started to realize that some of your employees were slowly drifting away, how did you keep up the motivation to power through that and kind of, keep on going through?
This is one of the most powerful things that I actually learned is that I didn't pay those people who were working with me. Like I didn't pay nothing. Like I didn't have cash by then. Yes. But people are motivated on this 3rd dimension. When you care about them as people and not as numbers. When I called them on the phone, it wasn't just to talk about the project. was to also ask about how is school going? Hey, you told me about your mom having an issue. Can you tell me more about, is everything all right? I had the experience myself. And you share these stories with a person. What does it do? It builds trust. And the final and most important thing that I sincerely believe is realize what are their ambitions. You don't want to grow alone. Know what they want to become and help them get there. Because at the end of the day, when they become better and happier, what happens to you on your project? Better and happier. That's what I realized. Appreciate your efforts. And never, ever take the ideas from the table and put it on the floor. Yes, sir?
Where do you come from? I mean, can you just share a little bit about what you really do here at Cisco and how people can engage with you to brainstorm and ideate, get access to you, or you off with us?
Thank you very much for your question. And I will say this, I'm very humbled to hear that. I will disclose with you all here something I did not disclose at the beginning, because I wanted you to get the content first without judging me as a person. How long do you think I've been here at Cisco? How long? Can anyone guess? No, not you. You know. Anyone? Anyone else?
2 months.
2 months? Anyone else?
3 years.
3 years. Anyone else?
5 years.
5 years. Anyone else? 1 year.
20.
How many?
20.
12. 20. I'm humbled like that. Wow. I don't look like someone who said, come on. To your question. I started at Cisco in July 2017. And I would say that if I really want to answer your question, what made me have this mindset and realize things beyond what they truly are, I will go back to the 3 dimensions: the time, space, and PowerPoint. In every single thing that we do, if our 10 people are going in this direction, and only 1 person is going that direction, there is a likelihood that that's the right direction. Because we look at our economy, we have 1% of the population having 99% of the world's wealth. It means that only 1% of people usually do the right thing. So in other words, I often have to look at things differently. And in this particular case, Monday you had a speaker.